Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We have a very interesting video to get into because we have a tiny bit of PlayStation news and a massive Nintendo Switch update and a Switch 2 leak and more information about that elusive Zelda Wind Waker port. It's actually real, so let's just go ahead and get into this video. It's weird, I don't know if it's the end of the year, but it feels like there was like a month or two where there really wasn't much news coming out, and now there's too much news. I have to pick and choose what I want to talk about every day. Well, before we do that, you could hit a like and subscribe, and you could follow me on Instagram because that would be very cool. And now let's get into the video. So a few days ago we had the Game Awards, and I'm not sure why, but I was actually pretty optimistic about the Game Awards, and a lot of good games won some awards. Now when it came to the Game of the Year award, seeing Elden Ring's DLC in there, I just felt like it was going to be rigged and that was going to win. I wanted Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to win or Astro Bot, but I honestly thought neither one of those games had any chance. But now we know that Astro Bot won, and I think that's amazing, and it was really cool how they thanked Nintendo. So from that, I hope we get more Astro Bot related stuff, whether that be new games. We got the controller, which I was not able to get because Sony canceled my damn order, but hopefully Astro Bot merch, and we have our first real look at some of that. Pre-orders for the Astro Bot Funko Pop available until December 19th. Yeah, this thing looks pretty awesome. This is the Astro Bot Funko Pop. I don't mind Funko Pops. I know some people are like, they're so stupid, they just look like toys or whatever, and it's like, dude, we play video games and we collect figures. It's all kid stuff, so chill out a little bit. And I really like how it says 2024 Game of the Year, and I need this for a couple of reasons. One, I freaking love Astro Bot. It's such a phenomenal series now, right? It is turning into a series. Two, I like robot stuff. Mr. Robot Joe, Astro Bot. You see the connection? It's very easy to see. Oh my god, what do all the pieces mean? What do the numbers mean? What do the symbols mean? It means I must acquire this Funko Pop. Now, it says pre-orders end December 19th. I was about to pre-order this because I want this. Unfortunately, I'm not the most patient person. I think the price is fine because it's only 25 bucks, and that seems a little bit more expensive, but it comes with like a hard plastic cover, so that's cool. But this Funko Pop does not even start shipping until May 2025. So if you're interested in this, this is a thing that you can acquire for money. Let's just move on to the next segment. So a very cool conversation in the gaming industry is what is going to become the best-selling console of all time, because it's the PS2 currently, but it seems like the Switch can take that over, and if the Switch takes it over, what could ever beat that, right? I mean, I just don't see like all the pieces falling together and making the perfect formula for all this to happen again. We had the Switch just become super popular, and then COVID happened, and then people just started buying a million consoles, and yeah, I just don't see it happening again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Nintendo Switch has officially broken the PS2 sales record. At least kinda. Lifetime unit sales of the Nintendo Switch have exceeded those of the PlayStation 2 in the US market. With its 46.6 million units sold, life to date, Switch now ranks second in all-time sold across all video game hardware platforms in the US, trailing only Nintendo DS. Damn, I forgot all about the DS. I think this is the very first time I've seen a Blue Sky post before. The Switch did kind of like a price drop thing for Black Friday, and I think they're doing that for the holidays as well, where it's $75 off the Switch and the Switch OLED, and those are bundles, so there's a good chance they could catch the PS2 during the holidays. But I definitely think they're going to hit this number, and that's just really impressive. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into a Switch 2 leak before we get into some Zelda news. When we think of the Nintendo Switch and the main accessories, there's really only two that come to mind immediately. It's the dock for the Switch, which is kind of part of the console, and the Pro Controller, because the Joy-Cons are also kind of part of the console. The Pro Controller is like the #1 Switch accessory, and I don't have one currently, but I do think it's the second best gaming controller of all time. #1, I have to put it at the PS5 controller. It's just so damn impressive and so good. and then number 2, the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. Whenever thinking about the Switch 2 and we think about the console and the games and everything else, for some reason, I never thought about the Pro Controller for the Switch 2, but it only makes sense to have this, right? Well, we might have a look at the actual Switch 2 Pro Controller. These leaks are starting to get so damn insane. First it was renders and concept art, then it was 3D printed models, and then it was a bunch of accessories, and then it was, well, this actually might be the actual Switch 2. And then it was, no, this is a Switch 2. Now we're looking at the Pro Controller. I think Nintendo just needs to get through Christmas, and then immediately after, even before the year is over, make some kind of Switch 2 related announcement. Maybe like, hey, in January we're doing this for the Switch 2. Just stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, this is allegedly the Switch 2 Pro Controller. And yeah, it essentially just looks like a better version of the Switch Pro Controller. I've been seeing this logo over and over a lot lately. I don't think I actually like it that much. If the console is called the Switch 2, there's really only so much they could do with this logo, but I really don't think I like it that much. So hopefully the logo is different or cooler than this, but if it is this, I'm fine with that. But look, we have the screenshot button, the home button, and the C button again. Allegedly, from what I've read other places, maybe it's translated down here, there's going to be 2 headphone jacks in the Pro Controller, the same way there's allegedly 2 headphone jacks on the Switch 2 console. So I've tried to translate this from Chinese right here. Our company produces Nintendo's Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. How to say, probably mean however to say. The details are generally the same as one, mainly the large logo on the front handle and the same number 2 as the logo is added next to it. And in addition to pure black, gray, and black are added. The shell is black and the joystick body and the top button are disgusting. I don't think that's what this is supposed to say. The main change is that a 3.5mm headphone hole has been added under the handle. You can plug in the headphones to play the controller. Then 2 buttons are added under the handle for the middle finger and ring finger. So there are buttons on the back, and yeah, I mean, this looks awesome. If it's better than the Pro Controller at all, it's going to be an amazing controller. Imagine if they did haptic feedback like the PlayStation 5 controller, but I wonder if PlayStation owns a patent for that. So that would be cool to see haptic feedback and haptic triggers go to Xbox and Nintendo one day. But yeah, if this is just 1% better than the Pro Controller, I think it's going to be an amazing controller. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have been hearing so much damn talk about Zelda ports, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. And allegedly, they had been done for like over a year. And then we heard no information about it. Then we seen some trademarks, and we heard no information about it. Then we seen another leak, and we seen no information about it. Today we have an update for that I seen on Twitter yesterday. And it was quite a lot to read, but I actually think it made amazing sense. And now it's starting to catch on, so I think it's worth covering. So this was posted over on Twitter. I will sound extremely delusional, but I genuinely think that a Wind Waker port of the Switch exists because of an unexpected place, Nintendo of Korea. First, an important context. Wind Waker never had an official Korean translation. It was only from 2006 when Nintendo established a subsidiary in Korea that finally decided to translate Zelda games in Korean. This has been true since Phantom Hourglass. The Wii U, however, was never released in Korea. That's crazy, I didn't know that. So they once again missed out on a Korean translation of the Wind Waker. Since the release of the Switch, however, indie Zelda games have been consistently translated officially in Korea. Why is this relevant? Because of Nintendo of Korea's own website showing a timeline of all Zelda games, but crucially, games that had a Korean translation used their Korean names, those who didn't used English, with one major exception, the Wind Waker. This could suggest 2 things. They did start translating in Korean Wind Waker for Wii U, but it was never released, or there is in fact a Nintendo Switch port of Wind Waker because they've been consistently translating games in Korean, and this accidentally slipped through. And then somebody in the comments said, Jeff Grubb has been saying this for a couple years, that Nintendo's been sitting on Wind Waker and Twilight Princess versions of the Switch. And then somebody else said that Wind Waker is also on the Nintendo Music app, and that 99% of those games are on the Switch. So it seems like that actually might be happening. And if you had to ask me what's going on here, I think this actually might be one of the first dual releases for the Switch 2. I could see this and Twilight Princess being released not as a package, but individually for the Switch 2 and the Switch, and that might also make people buy Switches when the Switch 2 is out. Like, yes, Nintendo wants everybody to buy a Switch 2. But they also want to sell Nintendo Switches too. So if you can play these games on the Switch and Switch 2, it seems like it only helps from every single direction. And yeah, I could actually see this being a Nintendo Switch 2 launch game, like a dual release for both consoles. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about all this information? Because your opinion matters most over here. Every single day, I'm having so much fun making videos because there's just so much information coming out. So in the comments below, I would love to hear from you. And you guys know me, I will see you very soon with a new video. Peace out.